What's up, YouTube? How you been? Been a minute. How many of y'all are on these any of those fancy diets like carnivore and you got keto, right? Both of them are like really heavy on having to eat a bunch of meat. Steak is expensive, but I've been on a mission to try and make chuck steak edible. I want to be able to cook it like a steak and get a similar experience from a steak. What we narrowed it down to is a marinade, and you can't do a short marinade like 1 or 2 hours. You have to do like 12 to 24 hours to marinate this stuff. I think we'll have the ingredients for the marinade down there, but honestly, any marinade you come up with, just go with that, right? And then after you marinate it for 24 hours, we're going to sear it off just like we would a steak, and then move it to the cool side of the smoker and cook it till it gets to about 135, 140 degrees, and we'll pull it off. The part I'm still struggling with is slicing it after the fact, because the chuck is like 5 different muscle groups and they all converge in the same place. So this piece might have its grain running this way, that one might have it running this way, and I swear one of the sections it looks like the grain is coming at my face. So I don't know what to do there. I can say though that in our past experiments with this, there's been some pieces that were melt in your mouth tender, and then other pieces that you're chewing on like it was Laffy Taffy. If y'all have some suggestions on how the best way of figuring out how the grain runs on every one of the sections of the chuck steak, that's still a work in progress, I should say. But either way, we got our coals going, we got our grill cleaned, and we got the meat sitting out just waiting for the coals to get done. We'll pour it in there. And while we're waiting for the coals to heat up, why don't you hit that thumbs up button and subscribe? We're looking at analytics. There's a lot of y'all watching that aren't subscribed, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I'll wait. We're not gonna go any further until you do it. So I'm just playing. By the way, up in the info card, there's a link to a short that we had made that for us blew up, on how to light one of these charcoal chimneys, and got a lot of interesting comments on, what y'all were putting underneath it. One guy put, I see you put a pine cone under there. That was wild. Yeah, I just ripped the bag, pieces of the bag up like you saw earlier, and the more coals that I use, the less bag that I have, and then at the end, the last little bit of the bag will be what I like, the last little bit of the coal. So it kind of all goes away at the same time. But y'all actually killed it on that short, and we really appreciate that. But yeah, I might do a video trying all those different ways y'all had of lighting it. But yeah, it's not match light charcoal, so you either got to use some kind of lighter fluid or a chimney. I don't know how well it would work. You just hold the lighter to it. You'd probably be standing there for a while. I guess you use a blowtorch. I've done that before, but I don't know, man. Just shove some of the bag under it, light it, come back in like 20 minutes, and it's perfect every time. Can't hate that. But yeah, we just pull it straight out of the marinade, and we're gonna do some salt and pepper over the top. I didn't pat any of the marinade dry or anything like that. As you can see there's still garlic chunks on there. Get all sides covered pretty good. That's it.
What are you using there?
The salt and pepper, garlic, Killer Hogs, brisket rub. I added a little bit of extra kosher salt to it because it wasn't quite salty enough for me, but it's just SPG right there, so no problem. At this point, Got fire shooting out of the top. We're just waiting for a little bit of white ash to go over the top of the top coals. You could dump it in as it is now because the unlit coals will then be at the bottom and the lit ones will be on the top. And I mean, it burns either way you do it, you know. Let that grill get hot and then we'll put the meat on. Like I said, sear it. Thumbs up for annoying roosters. What's up? He's doing his job, man, you know? I don't know what that job is, because none of the ladies are listening to him. Alright, so those coals are screaming hot. So we're gonna go ahead and get the meat on.
That smells good.
Alright. Do about, I don't know, 3-4 minutes each side. I'm gonna start me a little timer here because 3-4 minutes, we're gonna flip it over, go pow, and then do 3-4 minutes on the other side. Then we'll get some thermometers in there and then put it over here on this cold side, put the lid back on, so then we'll be using more like an oven. Here's the thing with the chuck roast, man, like look at this, it says like, ooh, that's hot. Let me get my pointer. It's like, this is like one piece of meat, and then like that's another piece of meat, and then I know there's another little piece of meat there. So, yeah, see like that separating gristle thing? I don't know, that's what I struggle with, slicing it, you know? All right, we're at about 3 minutes. I should put on my PPE. Oh, here we go. So when we flip it, we're also going to do like a rotate. So this section here is going to go right here. Get a nice crust on there. Yeah. There we go. Another 3-4 minutes. Bring it over here, bring it up to temperature. Alright. There. Up there. And then there. Put the lid on. Let it come up to temp. So like the probe's in the meat. It's only like 60 degrees on the inside of it, even though we did about 8 minutes of searing over blistering hot coals. So don't worry about searing and losing your cook. But bring it back when we hit 140. Just like a regular steak, y'all. We're gonna let it rest for a little bit. That looks good. It smells good too. Yep. probably about, I don't know, 5-10 minutes, something like that. I'm really bad about letting it rest as long as it should, so by all means do as I say, not as I do. We've been resting around about 7-8 minutes or so. We're gonna start cutting into this because I'm getting hungry and it smells amazing. But something I don't think I mentioned earlier was for both of these together, it was about 30 bucks at Sam's Club. And if that's why I'm so driven to be like, if I can make this really, really good, that's 30 bucks. That's, yeah. But anyway, here we go. Let's see how we did. That's what I'm kind of talking about, like, how does that grain go? There we go. What we got there. Pretty chewy. I don't know what else to say. 30 bucks, and you gotta put the work in. Like I said, you can marinate at least 24 hours, and sear it off, cook it like a regular steak, and it's not bad. It's really not bad. Is it tender like ribeye or New York strip or something like that? No, and I don't think it'll ever be that way. But let's be honest. I mean, if you got the kind of money to be eating ribeye like that every single night and be on one of these carnivore diets, like, I mean, you probably have somebody cooking it for you anyway. Right. It's gonna take me that long to chew that bite, but all right, we're gonna tuck into this, and we'll see y'all next time.